Hey! How good's this been so far? I've learned a couple of things. If you want to cheer, walk out to stage with the former Prime Minister, Tony Abbott. Thank you, Tony. Well done. And the other thing that's pretty clear to me is if you want to have a cheer, say something like, I'm Jacinta Price. Which you can do in this day and age. Or, no net zero. So what are we all here for? Originally, when we started CPAC, and I use that deliberately, there's hundreds of people who have been involved in this over the years since we first started, and I thank every one of them. But why are we here? Well, originally, it was to engage, right? To get together, to talk things through, to work things out, and not just for one party. I wanted it to be across the parties because some of us drift, as we wax and wane with our enthusiasm towards certain parties. I wanted this to be a great gathering of all the Conservatives and not do the infighting, not squabble over scraps, but form a vision where we say, one day we'll be back in government, we'll take back this country, as Matt Canavan just said. And that could involve, for example, a Liberal national coalition, and in the Senate, also in coalition with, say, One Nation. Wouldn't that be an amazing thing? And I hope that if that ever happens, and I think it's looking more and more likely, I hope if that happens, this may have played some sort of small part in that arrangement. And I think that'd be fantastic. And that's the second part of our tagline for this conference. That's unite. We need to unite. The Conservative brand at the moment is in, dire need of revival. I was talking to a staffer from a state politician, no names, and I said, your man's not coming to CPAC, what's going on? He goes, we're a bit scared about damaging our brand. Now, I think the brand's at a low ebb. And I'm not sure, maybe if you came along, you would have seen that there's people in the room that care about this country, could care about conservatism and want to lift this country out of the current quagmire that we found ourselves in. And I think the only way we're going to do that, in the near term especially, is that we unite together, that the parties and the people in this room can lead a revival of conservatism, and we can do it now. Now, a couple of speakers have said, we can win the next election. Of course we can bloody ring the next election. We can get rid of this Albanese government, get rid of this communism that they're pushing through on us with the net zero programs, the bureaucracy that's creating burdens for our small business people. It's a frustrating thing. The next part of our tagline is acting. What do we do after this conference? Because I know I come away from this conference, two thoughts. Oh, thank God it didn't collapse. Thank God it worked. But also, I need to do something. What do we need to do? And the way I look at...
Liberal leadership now.
Let's talk about that. If you don't like the Liberal leadership, how do you get rid of them? You join, right? That is the act. If you want to change the government, I want to change the party, you've got to join the party. That was thanks to Tony Abbott. He said that 2 years ago on the CPAC stage. That is the only way you change that party. And if we don't change that party, if we don't join, if you don't bring your voice to that party, you don't bring 10 of your friends after you join that party, if you don't suck the damn lemon and go to those boring monthly meetings and advocate for the policies and the philosophy and the values that you believe in, then we deserve what we get. And if you're not a part of a party, you need to join. And if you join, and if you bring your friends, you can take that party back. You can. Because they don't really have many members. Now, I think the Christodoulou government is a very good government in Queensland, particularly in the historical context, but there's hardly any members and the average age is 69. Where's the young blood? Where's the fresh ideas? Where's the enthusiasm? So for the Queenslanders in here that aren't a member of a party, join One Nation, join the Liberals, join the Nats. Get involved, bring your friends, and we can take this country back. We can take back conservatism. Enjoy your lunch, everyone. We'll see you after. Thank you very much.